So the purpose of this little video is twofold. I do want to show off a tablet running Windows 8, which I've got here. But mainly I'm trying to try out shooting with 3 separate cameras and see if I can mesh them together. So in front of me I've got a Lumix GH2. The big wide shot is the Go Pro HD Hero2. And then there's an iPhone 4S, which is supposed to get a few cutaways of this screen. Anyway, here we go. So yeah, this is a Samsung tablet on which I've installed the Windows 8 release preview. We're getting closer to the final thing, which should come out in the autumn. And of course, the thing about Windows 8 is it's designed to compete across the new sort of computing universe, not just on desktops and laptops, but on tablets in a touchscreen world, and it's sort of touchscreen optimized, and you can see it from this. Now, this isn't the ideal test because eventually we're going to have a lot of tablets with ARM processors running a slightly optimized version of Windows 8. But this gives you some idea of what the new operating system, which Microsoft says is going to be most important since Windows 95, gives a bit of an idea of the look and feel of it across all kinds of devices. So you've got this sort of colourful start screen, very different from the normal desktop that you would get on a standard Windows computer. It's got these different big blocks of blue. It looks much like the look of a Windows phone, a Nokia Lumia or whatever, these big colourful blocks, and it is in fact borrowing that interface called the Metro interface. They've developed a number of apps. Let's have a look at one. It's going to be very app-centric, obviously. Not having a great deal of luck getting into that one. Let's have a look. What's happening here? Okay, we're going again. Short pause there while I reboot it, turn it off and turn it on again, being the answer to most things, and that's typical demo-itis. Anyway, I think we've got it running again. As I was saying, here is the start screen. There are a number of apps. Let's have a look at one of them. This is going to be a news app, and you can see you can shuttle through these various news stories. Button at the bottom takes you back to the start screen. New version of Internet Explorer, that's Internet Explorer 10. Apparently it's got Do Not Track switched on by default, so more privacy controls. It has to be said, other browsers say they feature those already, but Microsoft making quite a play of that. Generally a nice smooth look, as well as apps being developed by Microsoft themselves. There is a developer community building up around this. They've been allowed in to some extent. Here is something made by a British developer, Stonewash. It's basically a magazine app. Now, interestingly, this company has been developing for the iPad up to now. And so it obviously sees the possibility that Windows 8 will be an important platform for it when it comes out later this year. Now, important to say that as well as, I mean, you can imagine if you use a smartphone, what many of these big buttons take you to. Important to say that on PCs at least, you will have the option of going to a traditional desktop if you get too scared by the look of those big blocks and want something more kind of controllable, because there are already complaints that this is more optimized for a touchscreen world and that traditionalists will feel a bit alienated by it, so they've put that sort of backstop in there. Anyway, the whole point of it, it seems, is to compete in this new world, to compete perhaps against this, the iPad. Has to be said, right now this doesn't feel ready, but that's unfair because there's a lot of work still to do, not just on the operating system, but by manufacturers who are busily developing ARM-based tablets that should be out later this year. So when Windows 8 is finally launched and ready to go and the devices are out there, there could be some serious competition for the iPad. So that's a little tour of that. Now here comes the difficult bit. I've got to sync up that, and that, and try and make this into one coherent video. Now, how do you do that?